Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today to take a look at the brute of a hypercar that is the Danish Zenvo TSR-S. Now this car was due to have been displayed at this year's Geneva Motor Show, which was sadly cancelled, but it does mean today we can take a proper look at it here at Topaz Detailing. Now I caught a quick glimpse of it when I was here to collect the new Goodwill car cover for my Ford GT, but today I'm going to show you some details about this car that I think you will not have previously seen. For example, opening up the front and the rear clams, we'll wake up the dashboard and have a quick look at the displays and also get it fired up into life. There are a few really unique details as well about this specific show car, so today then, here at Topaz, let's check out the Zenvo TSR-S. If you're not familiar with Zenvo cars, let's take a quick walk around before we can go through some of the incredible details about this car, the Zenvo TSR-S. Now these hypercars are built out in Denmark. They only make up to a maximum of 5 cars per year, and this is Zenvo's third model, the TSR-S, that follows the first car, the TS1 GT, and the name, by the way, TS, stands for the Twin Supercharged V8 in the back, making well over 1,000 horsepower. The second car was the TSR being for race. This, the RS, is the race back for the street. They're extremely aggressive, brutal car, as you can tell just by looking at the design and some of the shapes of this thing. For example, they have this wing at the rear, named, as you will see just here, the centripetal wing, that actually pivots from one side to the other. I'll explain more about that. They have their own in-house made 5.8 litre twin supercharged V8 that in this car makes 1,177 brake horsepower. It all goes to the rear wheels, but still gets this to 200 kilometers an hour, 124 miles per hour in just 6.8 seconds. Then look at the design of it around the front. And in fact, one really cool detail about this front intake is if I show you the key for this car, check this out. The shape of it matches that hexagonal shape. In fact, where this goes inside is extra special. You need to see this in just a moment when we hop on board. But this car, introduced or commissioned to be the show car, has some amazing details to it. So the exposed carbon, the bodywork, of course, everything made in-house, including the carbon fibre. Look at this geometric pattern that you can see inside the weave of the carbon fibre. How cool is all of that? You've also got that continuing around the side here. You can see the Zenvo lettering on the side skirt, sides of the doors there, also epic. They've introduced new wheels. These wheels are 15 kilos lighter than their aluminium counterparts. They take 2 people an entire week to make from carbon fibre. You can see the chopped up carbon style that you have inside those, 20 at the front, 21 at the rear. Also running on the Michelin Cup 2 R rubber, super sticky rubber for the racetrack. But again, look at the scoop over the top that comes into the engine bay. The whole bodywork is made from carbon. The way you open this is again really, really interesting. I'll show you that in a moment. But let's come through just to open it up and have a quick look inside the car here. So there's a button just there to release the door. We're inside. As you can imagine, it is focused, it is hardcore. You have harnesses on the seats, the carbon fibre backed buckets, you've got digital displays, the floating tablet in the centre. This thing is, well, pretty awesome. So let me actually show you where this key goes. I'm going to take a step on board. Zenvo and Topaz have very kindly made it possible to come out today to share this car with you. So here in the central console, just beside the gear shifter, you have this slot where the key can be inserted. Then with the foot on the brake, you basically press this down and the car will wake up and come into life. The display's waking up. The rear view mirror is a camera, forwards and backwards. The dashboard has a few different modes depending what driving mode you're in. We're in road at the moment, but you could change that up to go through the different settings. We've got a very, very focused cabin. The small Alcantara lined steering wheel, carbon fibre everywhere with Alcantara over the top of the dashboard. You've got a lot of design details that you will recognise from the outside. The hexagonal shape for the air conditioning vents, also for the switchgear, the different shapes that you can see. Again, the grills here, the speaker grill, which matches with the grill design on the outside. Even the stitching and the perforations that you can see on that leather insert on the door card, again, all the same with the blue touches continuing throughout as well to match with the exterior. This is a very focused, very, very cool place to be. Of course, paddle shift 7-speed gearbox, but with straight cut gears, which is quite a different driving experience to a normal, say, dual clutch gearbox. It is very, very aggressive, very, very mental, and quite an experience. So to then start it, foot on the brake still, it is a press of this button and it will come into life. Okay, that sounds raw and menacing. 1200 horsepower almost under the right foot when you're driving inside this car. Just listen to it outside. Okay, well, we probably don't want to completely fume out the place, so we'll, oh, do you pull this out? There we go, that's how you stop it. How cool is that? You pull the key back out, then just back onto the ignition like that. You can see all the lights illuminating as well. Learning a little bit as I go. We don't have too much of a view backwards, just the bulkhead, but even the roof matches with the same design that you saw on the door cards and the TSR-S logos that you have all around. On the passenger side of the dashboard is a storage net. In fact, talking about storage, check this out. So of course you have a storage area here, but you also have this little slot, which if I just grab my phone out of my pocket, how convenient is that? More cars need a useful storage pouch like this has just down there. Out of the way, but perfect for your phone or maybe for your wallet or something like that. Anyway, before we run the battery flat, let's pull this back on out, turn the car off for the moment because I want to step back out of the car to show you inside the front and also the rear clams of this car. So to open up the front, down here, there's a little lever. We'll come round towards the engine bay in a second, but the way this opens is not what you think. You might be expecting it to open backwards. It actually goes forwards, but there's a bit of a mechanism to it. So you lift it forwards and then it folds up to reveal carbon heaven with all of the exposed carbon underneath, even on the underside of there, and also this storage area in the middle, finished with a carpet for just added presentation, I suppose, but that is all quite unusual in the way the mechanism works. Just bring this back down, get the tracks in place, come round towards the front, push it gently back into place and then give it a click here. There we go, that is back down. Make sure it's secured, and we come round towards the back because I want to explain how this works. Now, because you have this wing, and let's talk a bit about this wing because it is spectacularly unusual. The wing pivots from side to side. The reason you have a very high wing on a car is because the air, the higher up, the more effectively it can be used for downforce. In the case of this, the reason it pivots is so that the side that you need the most downforce can be higher up in the air where it's less disturbed to help give you even more effect as a result. Of course, the wing is attached onto the very back of the car, which gives quite an unusual mechanism to move it and adjust it, but obviously it has these hydraulics to adapt on the fly while you're moving at speed out on the racetrack, for example, and it's quite unusual to see that in action. The way it works though for now is you have some buttons just on the outside to release these clamps, just to do this very quickly, kind of race latches, press there, it releases, and we can take that out, he says. There we go. Then you very carefully pull this back into position. I'm being super delicate, knowing the value of the car. We're talking a car that's about €1.5 million or so. You can pop this back in, just into place, he says. Do this very gently. There we go. Click that back into place so that we don't do anything wrong here. Again on this side too, just to make sure it is completely locked in. There we go. And then you come round to open this hydraulically with a button just inside here. He says, where is it exactly? There we go. Press this and it opens up to reveal Zenvo's power plant, the 5.8 litre Twin Supercharged V8, 1,177 horsepower, 1,180 newton meters, a performance 0 to 62 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour of just 2.8 seconds, a 0 to 200 kilometers an hour or 124 miles per hour of just 6.8 seconds, all of that being through the rear wheels, then onto a top speed of 325 kilometers per hour, 202 miles per hour. But feast your eyes on all of the carbon fibre. This gigantic piece, even with the V-weave on the underside. Look at the detail here. This is stunning and a cool detail. Zenvo, the name, comes from Trolls Vollotsen, VO, Vollotsen, Zen, the end of it, kind of reversed, switched around. Cool touch about these cars. And to close this back down, we need to pop it down, click it into place and can kind of reverse the process here with the wing. So I'm just going to pull these out, put it back exactly as it was, carefully pivot it forwards, click this in, there we go, and around to the other side, give that a click as well, perfect. And we are back, returned to normal service. But just to look again around the back, look at the shape of this diffuser, right down towards the ground. Actually, look at this, the exposed normal weave carbon on the top, and the forged chopped weave on the bottom. I'm not sure I've ever seen that, finished with that contrast blue. You've got these gigantic tailpipes sticking out at the back with that mesh grille that I was talking about as well. In fact, everywhere you look, you see that all around. These openings for the air from the wheel wells to exit out the back as well. And just look at how low the whole car is actually sitting, right down towards the ground. Even all of these touches, all very, very cool to see. Be able to explore. Look at this, look at the way it's channeled around the sides at the front there as well. Why is the car here then at Topaz? Well, it's in some pretty good company if we just take a very quick look around. I think one of the very first Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo cars. Next to that, the Pista, of course, that we could see in that rear view camera, looking very nice in dark red. And then this car, which is here for paint protection film. Now, when it's a car like this, of course, there aren't templates. It's bespoke, it's handmade. It is a car that hasn't exactly been through this process. Topaz have their complete system set up to make their own templates on a car like this, which of course takes time to go through the process. We did a bit of that with my Ford GT in the past, but then ultimately it will receive the full coat of paint protection film over the entirety of the exterior to ensure that it's protected against stone chips or light damage or anything like that that could affect it in future, particularly with a car that is as special as this one. I mean, just look at that. This screams hypercar in every way. Things are all made in-house, they're all unique, they're all made specifically for this car. It's not a case of taking parts from other cars. Everything is made exclusively for this, right down to even, as I showed you, the key. That's something pretty unusual as well, to have a key made exactly like this. And in fact, talking about the key, the shape of it is also quite like that. Seeing similarities everywhere. I like how they've thought about all of these details. This is exclusivity at its finest, up to 5 a year maximum. And of course, all of these design touches in the carbon, for example, can all be made individual for the customer on their different car. Around the front, this was a newer, lighter design. Look at the way it's kind of exposed with these 6 running lights and then the main beam lens there as well. And even here, there's actually airflow that goes in through, I've just noticed. You see these kind of things all around when you're checking out this car and walking around it. Look at those blades that curve in around the sides as well. Clearly a very, very special thing, and great to have been able to take a look at it here, despite not being at the Geneva Motor Show, but sharing with you Zenvo's newly commissioned TSR-S. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, a big thanks to Zenvo and to Topaz as well. Thank you very much though again, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers!